be seated. So picture the scene. Moshe is in the final days of his life, standing with the people on the edge of the Jordan. For the past month, he has been retelling the story of this people and of God's teaching and preparing them for the transition from wilderness dwellers to farmers, from living with manna and pillars of cloud and flame to the mundane realities of plowing fields, tending orchards, keeping animals, and establishing a just and compassionate society. And at the peak of his final speech in this week's parasha, at the finish line of his oratorical marathon, Moshe presents a mitzvah for when they cross the Jordan. Bikurim, the offering of first fruits. And it serves as a kind of capstone to everything he has taught them about life in the land. With the mitzvah of Bikurim, the vision comes to rest in a single gesture. Taking the ripened fruit and bringing it to Jerusalem as an offering, lifting it up as an act that gathers labor, gratitude, and justice into one embodied ritual. It reframes how Israel lives not only in relationship with the land, but in relationship with the Holy One, how to receive the land as divine gift, to root their daily labor in sacred memory, and to turn agriculture itself into a practice of gratitude and joy. When you harvest your land, Moshe instructs, gather the first fruit, Reshit Piri Ha'adama, the beginning of the fruit of the land. And the Hasidic master, 19th century Sfat Emet, asks, why the first fruit? Why not the largest fruit or the best fruit, the sweetest fruit? He teaches that Reshit holds within it the essence of all that follows. And when you sanctify the beginning, the rest is drawn into holiness. That was already the lesson of the manna. Every morning the people learned to eat directly from God's flow, to live in daily awareness that sustenance comes from beyond them. And even when they would enter the land, a land overflowing with produce, where food would come not as an overt miracle, but also through the sweat and their labor, the mitzvah of Bikurim would remind them that the flow is still there. Their toil matters, but the first fruit points back to the source. In the words of the Sfas Emes, Reshit is the root spark, the first point where divine presence enters this world, where the infinite finds actualization in a finite world. And offer that, and you realign all the rest of your work with holiness. Like the first couple notes of a song that set the key, or the first brush stroke that shapes the course of a painting, the beginning carries the whole. And then, chapter 26, having given them a vision of what life in the land can become, Moshe turns back to the present day. There on the plains of Moab, moments before crossing the river into the land, or moments before the people will cross, it's about a day before Moshe dies. And he says, Hayom hazeh Adonai Elohecha mitzavecha. This day the eternal, your God, commands you to do these mitzvot with all your heart and all your soul. Now, pshat, surface level, what Moshe is doing is summing up all the mitzvot that he has been teaching and turning towards his final act, which we'll read in the next in a couple of weeks. This enactment going up onto the mountain and the two mountains and enacting this covenant of blessings and curses. That's a recapitulation of Sinai. But Sfas Emes hears something deeper in these words, Hayom Hazeh. On the mitzvah of Bikurim, the Sfas... Excuse me for a moment. Looks like I doubled my words here. If I cannot find my place, then I will say it without the sheets. Give me a moment and I will capture my thoughts here. Okay. What the Sfas Emes is saying is that thank you, it's okay. I'll find my way. Hayom Hazeh is a teaching about the essence of the present moment. Hayom Hazeh, this today. Today and today and today. And that is the essence of Bikurim. It says every day is Hayom. Each dawn represents genuine renewal of creation itself, fresh emanation of divine energy into the world. And the Zohar teaches that all of reality is sustained not by the past moment of creation, but by continuous divine creativity flowing into each moment. That means that each day is an act of creation. And each morning is an opportunity to tap into that, to wake into that new Reshit, and with it a chance for teshuvah, returning our awareness to the source, to align our labor and our lives with the divine flow. Each day can offer the first fruits of our attention. We can offer the first fruits of our attention, our gratitude, our presence, because today is genuinely new, alive with divine energy never seen in the world. Back in July, and after having started back with kids in school, that feels like a year ago, but back in July, I was on retreat with fellow rabbis and cantors as part of the Institute for Jewish Spirituality's clergy leadership program. And as anyone here who's been on a silent retreat before can relate to, one of the most powerful moments was eating. And partly because we were at the Pearl Stone Jewish Retreat Center and all of the produce was super fresh and delicious. But also it was an opportunity to engage in the eating as a meditation. And each bite became revelatory. It was fresh, the tastes, the textures, returning attention to gratitude for the hands that prepared it, the awareness of my own body, the simple pleasure of being satisfied. Each bite was like a taste of Reshit, of first fruit. A kind of tshuva, returning to the source. And also to the sense of the interconnectedness with all beings. Okay, I just got all messed up. Okay. We will say in just over a week on Rosh Hashanah, we will say several times, Hayom, Hayom. We will remember the day of creation. But we are not just remembering a moment in time. We are not commemorating something in the past, but using the beautiful tools of the spiral of sacred time to tap in on that first day of the year to the power of Hayom. So I want to invite us in these last days of the month of Elul, this preparatory month, and in those moments of freshness of the beginning of Rosh Hashanah, is there some sort of mitzvah or some sort of practice? Maybe it's in the beginning of the day, something that can anchor you and shift the quality of your attention to bring you into this awareness of Hayom, of divine flow, of the sense of newness that can also inspire us to the knowledge that we can turn and return to our best selves. Shabbat Shalom.